It may well be a brand new year, 2025 about to commence, but I'll tell you what, there's nothing new and fresh and anything to be excited about when it comes to West Ham, unfortunately. And I hate being like this. I mean, I hate feeling like this and being so down about the football club. I don't want to just keep putting videos out there just moaning. But there just is nothing else I can do at this stage. I'm just at a total loss with this football club. I really am. I'm sorry to sort of wrap up 2024 with a video just ranting, really. But that's what this is, really. I'm obviously quite annoyed by the news as well, by Jarrod Bowen. I'm going to come to that in a second. But this is obviously to talk about Lopetegui more as well, and David Sullivan in particular. But before I go into it, I want to just say, look, first of all, thanks for your support this season. It's been great so far, and I really do appreciate it. Not the season, but the support has been great. And if you're not a subscriber, do subscribe. It takes 2 seconds to do so. Really do appreciate it. And also hit that like button. As I say, that does help us to grow as a channel. Let's start off with Jarrod Bowen news then, I guess. That's probably the sort of the breaking news, isn't it? So Jarrod Bowen's broke his foot. I mean, this season it just goes from bad to worse to even worse to dire to horrific, doesn't it? I have been so deflated, like you have, I'm sure, throughout this season so far. There's been hardly anything to be happy about and joyful about. Excited about nothing. I've just found it to be so depressingly bad. Jarrod Bowen has been so far this season our best player by quite a long distance, so it was only inevitable, wasn't it, that he was going to pick up a nasty injury. So I even say that I even thought about this happening before. A few weeks ago, I remember thinking it's only a matter of time before we lose Bowen, because that's the way the season's been panning out, and that's the way it's materialised. So we've been told by ex-WHU employee, this is his update. I'm just going to quickly read it to you. West Ham have confirmed the news that Jarrod Bowen has fractured his foot. It was originally thought he may have sprained his ankle, but scans revealed a fracture. It's unknown at this stage how long he'll be out for. Well, they say that it could be up to 2 or 3 months, but now the club have come back with an update saying it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks. So that's going to be 3 months. The fact that the club are saying it's going to be 8 weeks, I would say it'd be more than that then, because they're probably trying to sugarcoat it. I mean, it is just disastrous news in terms of West Ham. I can't believe it, really. I just can't believe it. It's just, well, I can believe it. Of course I can believe it. The way things have been, it's no surprise. But it is terrible, terrible news for West Ham to be losing someone like Bowen, who has been, as I say, an outstanding player for us this season by a long distance. To him to be out now for a couple of months at best is just really horrendous. And just not what we needed at all. And probably starts to actually thrust West Ham into the conversation of relegation contenders this season. Not to say that I think we'll go down, but I think to lose someone like Bowen for a prolonged period of time is a real worry, because if it had not been for Jarrod Bowen this season, we wouldn't be on. I reckon we'd be sort of 10 points shy of where we are now. I really do. He has been that important to us. So I think this is a really terrible bit of news. And it's, no else we can do about it, is there? It is what it is, but something the West Ham are going to have to really try and sort this out. And let's be honest, I don't see how. You've got to now ask for the likes of Kudus, who wants to step up, a player that doesn't want to be here, quite clearly. I didn't do a review on the Liverpool games. This is going to be partly that, but I don't want to go into the details of obviously a 5-0 drubbing. But what I found so deflating about the Liverpool performance and result was that it was just so predictable. It was so obvious that was going to happen. Like, I think in my preview, I predicted 4-0. It's kind of where we're at now, isn't it, as West Ham fans? I feel like we're at this point now where it's almost like fans are just not giving up, but just so deflated by what they're witnessing this season that it's actually hard now to muster up that kind of, I've always had that belief as a West Ham fan going into games. You never know West Ham. You never know with us. If we can show up, we can give them a game. I've always had that sort of belief, like even when we're playing the best teams and when they're in the best form, I think you never know with West Ham. This season, I just don't have that. I don't have that feeling at all. I go into pretty much every game expecting a defeat. Very, very, very tough this season, I'm finding, which I'm sure you'll be feeling the same. I mean, I'm sure there are others as well that don't feel as down and probably going, hang on, it's not as bad as that. And I know it's been worse. I'm not suggesting this is the worst it's ever been. But considering that where we have come from in recent seasons, i.e. lifting a trophy, being in European football, and such a great platform to push on, you know, selling Declan Rice and having all that money available to go and strengthen and to kick on as a football club. It just feels like we have taken 2 massive steps back as a football club. Our recruitment has been shocking. Our managerial appointment's been awful. It just feels like the club is in decline and it's getting worse, actually. It doesn't feel like we've kind of hit the worst part of this yet. You know, it feels like we're getting worse as time's going on. And I'm including, by the way, those games prior to the Liverpool, which seemed to lift the mood within the media. West Ham are turning a corner. I don't think we were turning a corner. I thought we were bloody lucky for most of those games. I thought we were crap. There's been no performances I've watched of West Ham of late that have made me go, do you know, there's only one performance this season. One performance, and that was Newcastle second half. It's the only time I've generally watched West Ham and been really impressed. Apart from that, I've not been impressed. Even when we beat Ipswich at home, I think 4-1, I still didn't feel... I didn't come away from a 4-1 win going, wow, we were exceptional. I just thought, well, they were just really crap, and we just kind of we managed to grab the goals when we got the chances. That's all it was. It wasn't a great performance. I'm at a total loss as to David Sullivan and his decision making, or lack of decision making. I just cannot fathom what on earth goes through this man's mind. I don't understand why every decision seems to be continually kicked down the road, why he just will not address a problem. It's clearly obvious to everybody, and it's been clearly obvious for such a long time, that Julen Lopetegui has been a dreadful appointment. He is absolutely shit, okay? He is a crap manager. Get it straight. He is awful. He has been terrible since he's rocked up at West Ham. We were awful during pre-season, and we've been awful all season. We're getting no better. In fact, we're getting worse. We're getting rolled over by teams that have got anything about them. They will batter West Ham. And yet David Sullivan sits there making no decisions once again, kicking it down the road, waiting for giving him a couple more games. I don't understand it. It's becoming pathetic. And we're just about to go into a transfer window. And that twat is deciding to sit back once again and do bloody nothing. It's just disgraceful. It's absolutely disgraceful how he is running this club. I mean, just sooner the better when we're rid of this man, honestly, running this club. I'm desperate, like many, to see the back of him. Desperate, like many, to see the back of this board, really. I just want to get rid of all of them because I think that the incompetence is frightening at this club. I honestly, I'm just so pissed off of being a West Ham fan at the moment, as you can probably tell. Honestly, at an absolute loss. So far as we understand, we did an update in the previous video, which is the preview for the Liverpool game, and I was talking about Lopetegui being on thin ice and that the club were going to change the manager. So as far as we understand it, Graham Potter's waiting in the wings, wants to take over, and there's he has a lot of support now within the board that they want to bring Potter in. It's purely, this is all David Sullivan sitting on his poxy hands as usual, doing nothing and waiting for a disaster until he does anything. I don't understand it. I don't know what it's going to take for this football club to act. I just don't understand. It's stunning how bad things have gotten at West Ham recently. This season has been a total disaster. Obviously now added with the fact we've lost our best player for the best part of 2 to 3 months is just terrible news. And I'm just... as you can tell, angry. I'm really angry. I was expecting West Ham to act after the Liverpool game. I was, we were given that kind of steer that there was major unhappiness within the board, that they are fed up with Lopetegui. They're fed up with his terrible tactics, crap man management, where he falls out of every fucking player on that squad. And yet, despite all that, despite another hammering, we are sitting back again and doing nothing and waiting for another heavy defeat. And then they're going to then decide maybe after to give him another game. I just don't get it. I really don't. I'm so fed up with the hierarchy of this football club. I just wish they'd all just piss off, really. I really do. I really wish they'd just fucking put this club up for sale and get people in that actually know what they want to do and actually have steer this club in the right direction and run it properly. Because we are as West Ham fans, incredibly hard done by when it comes to ownership. I mean, you've got to look at all around the clubs around the country, and we are one of the worst. I mean, we've been stuck with this poxy ownership now for nearly 15 years. We're stuck with Sullivan and his cronies running this football club. And look, I'm not suggesting everything's been horrendous. It's not all been horrendous. I know we've had a bit of trophy success and then we had Europe. But let's get it straight. Nothing. I don't put any of that on Sullivan. He did not hire David Moyes on the basis to go and get European football at West Ham. It was a lucky fact that David Moyes got going and got this team playing and we had a good season and got us into the top 6. That was nothing to do with David Sullivan. None. I'll never give him credit for it. And I'll tell you what, and the fact that we had David Moyes for that amount of time just shows you how much crap he probably had to deal with the club at the top. Because I'll tell you what, that's one thing that worries me about the next manager, whether it be Graham Potter, whoever it be. You know, I expect it to be Potter, but you know, you just you knows with this poxy club, is that they've got to be enough a strong character to deal with the shambles above them. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be able to deal with the pathetic nature of our management at this club. It's unbelievable. I do fear for that, you know. I mean, I've made my points, you know, on Lopetegui really clear. I don't rate the guy. I think he's crap. I really do. I think he's up there with Avram Grant. I think he is a dreadful, dreadful manager. I don't know how on earth that man got a job at Real Madrid. I mean, he didn't last long. That's why he lost his job at Real Madrid. That's why he lost his job at Spain, because he's fucking shite. They found out, but they brought him in and thought, fucking guy, I don't know what he's doing. Gets rid. Do you know what I mean? Everywhere he's been shit. I know he had a stint at Sevilla and he did all right, won the Europa and that. But I mean, that was a long time ago. A long, long time ago. He is a dated, dreadful tactician. I can't stand the way he deals with his players. It's quite clear and obvious they can't stand him. I mean, that Liverpool performance was just diabolical. Absolutely diabolical. Bunch of players that aren't playing for the manager. I don't know what David Sullivan needs to see or witness to do something. I really don't. Really don't. And I'm fearful for West Ham this season now. I really am. I mean, I've always tried to believe that we were going to... I didn't firm believe we were going to change Lopetegui. I still think that will happen. But again, it feels like it's going to have to be a disaster for that twat to make a decision, right? And not only that now, but the fact we've lost Jarrod Bowen, who's been now sort of saving grace this season, it makes me very fearful. I really am fearful for West Ham. As our captain as well, is going to be out off the pitch now for a couple of months. I mean, what now? I mean, what's going to happen? It's worrying. It's a worrying time. We've got our January transfer window kicking off, obviously, tomorrow. We'll be doing lots of updates and videos on that. I'll do one again tomorrow. I'm going to try and steer it more in that direction. I don't want to just sit here moaning about Lopetegui, but I can't help it at this stage. You know, I can't sit here and try and spin some positivity and go, actually, ain't too bad. It is that bad. Do you know what I mean? Things are really bad. That performance against Liverpool and that result was expected, not by me, by fucking everybody. Do you know what I mean? By everyone out there. Sorry for the language today as well. I do apologise, but I'm that pissed off about it. Do you know what I mean? I'm going into this new year in a sense of dread and doom. I really am when it comes to West Ham. I've got no optimism, nothing to look forward to. I don't have any excitement about the FA Cup. Usually in New Year, I'm like, FA Cup run. Let's see how we go. Come on, West Ham. Let's give it a go. We'll go out of that. We'll be out of the FA Cup comfortably by Aston Villa. I'm sure of it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not even thinking about the FA Cup. For me, it's just written off in my mind. I'm not even slightly optimistic we might be all right in the FA Cup. I know we're going out in the FA Cup really quickly, so that can do one. And I'll tell you what, we will not be in the top half this season. There's no way. I genuinely have no hope. Unless West Ham pull off a miracle in January and get some players over. Do you honestly trust West Ham to do it? Because I don't. I'm not sitting here with any belief that West Ham are going to go and make the right decisions and get the deals done. I don't think they will. I think they're going to sit on their hands as usual and dilly-dally and not quite sure. Let's wait till the summer. Let's put another decision off. That's what I think West Ham will do. But I'm going to provide I'll do a bit more of a chat tomorrow on transfers and stuff, and we'll get an update from ex-LHU employee in there. So I do apologise for it being a bit of a miserable video. I want it to be a happier one. Look, but that aside, look, it's New Year's Eve. Have a good one tonight. Whatever you're doing, I won't be doing a lot. I'll be drinking tea, watching telly. I'll be asleep way before the old midnight strikes. But look, for people going out and about, having a good one, stay safe, have a good one, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow with some, hopefully, a bit more of an optimistic video. But it's hard, isn't it, at the moment? Come on, you ones.